Hi guys, quick look at my second horse of the day. This is Jubilee. I've done a couple of shoes on him already. I just thought I'd let you have a look at doing the other two. See, I've got my wellies on because I've just had to walk through about 8 inches of mud to get here. Right, first thing we've got to do, take the old shoe off, and that is simply done by either cutting off or just knocking up so that they're straight the clenches, and that's what I'm doing now. The thing I'm using is called a buffer, a clench cutter and a rubber mallet. Used to use a steel hammer, but ended up with too many chips flying off. I got one embedded in my face, and you can see a video of it somewhere on one of my channels or one of my videos. Anyway, whip the shoe off, knock the nails down just so no one treads on it and punctures their soles, either human or horse. Whip out all the mud, try and get that out of the way, because if you don't, as soon as you put the foot down, they tread in it and it's all back in it. This is actually the knife I made in one of my other videos. Still going strong, still as sharp as ever, and I really like it actually. I was going to make another one, but this one's going so well I don't think I'll bother. Just trim off the foot. That's the excess that's grown, that's the bit that's like your fingernail. You can't take off too much, otherwise you'll get blood, just like if you cut your fingernail back too far it'll be sore. That's what years of experience shows you how much to take off there. There are obviously sort of guidelines, but mostly experience. Level it off. Check that it's level. This one isn't, not quite. A little bit more off there. That's better. Clean out all these black bits around the side, get all the muck out from down the frog. You mustn't dig too violently down the sides of the frog because it's quite sensitive down there. Just whip it forward onto my newly made stainless steel stand. My other one just about had it, so I thought I'd treat myself and make myself a new one. Just take this off nice and smooth, and just taking any flares off, which this hasn't really got in the way of anything in the way of flares on this one. He's got quite nice feet. Just tidying it up, ready for the shoe to go on. I've just realised how much of my day I spend with my head upside down. Alright, see how this goes. Now that is pretty close. Just knock back the toe for the clip to go in. Cut a bit out for the bit behind the clip, and then for the clip at the top. And that I think is pretty good. Just close it up a little bit. A little bit more. Nearly there. I think we might just have to have one more, will we? Fits pretty nicely. One for luck. Make sure it's still level. Yep. And we'll stick her on. And I'm still having trouble with this left hand. It's really difficult to hold the nails. All I'm doing here is just put the nail in, and the nail is shaped. It has a tip on it, so that as long as you put it in the right way, it should always come out of the foot. which you can see I'm feeling for it with my, well, I used to do it with my index finger, but because I can't feel that anymore, I have to use either my little finger or the one next to it, which I'm adapting to. But it's tricky, but just see me there feeling for it, making sure it's coming out. Because although these nails are pretty good, they're all very, very similar. Occasionally you'll get the odd one that hasn't got the tip right and it goes the wrong way. You can usually tell as soon as you start hammering it, but just in case, you just want to make sure with your fingers where it's going. Now all I'm doing is just tightening the shoe up, knocking the nails in with the pincers underneath it, and it sort of squeezes everything together. It starts to fold the nail over and tightens it all up. That's why you really need to have the foot and the shoe very level with cold shoeing. Otherwise you'll get gaps and it won't squeeze down and then it comes loose. Just not tap the clip in. So people say, oh, you shouldn't be hammering those clips in. Well, on an ordinary shoe, no, but when I make my shoes or shape my shoes up, because I always shape my shoes up before I come out cold shoeing, first thing I do is thin the clip right out so that it's almost paper thin. And there's two reasons for that. One is because cold shoeing, it doesn't sit flush into the foot, and if you use the original thick clips, then A, you wouldn't be able to bang it in, and B, it would be sitting right out from the foot and look silly. So I do thin mine right out. So when people see me hammering that, it's not like real hammering hard, because they aren't that much thinner. It's just putting them back onto the foot. This nail's not quite over enough. Give it a little tweak. Yeah, I can't believe I spend this much time upside down. But I must do. Now all I'm doing with this tool is clenching tongs, just literally pulling the nail back down and into the foot, forming a tight, what's the word? Well, a tight finish. It's so that the shoe's not going to come off, the nail's not going to pull out. And that's the first one of this side. So, get onto the hind, which has already got up waiting for me. Now he's got quite nice feet, this pony, but for some reason this particular foot, he seems to be dragging a little bit. I don't know if you can see, the toe of the shoe is just slightly squared off. I'll have to have a word with the owner, just see if he's had a lameness recently. He hasn't mentioned anything, but he's definitely squared that one off a little bit, and the other one he hasn't. So you might need to get his back looked at. I do need a bit of TLC once in a while from either a chiropractor or a McTimony or all sorts of things they use on these horses. Some of them I think are a complete waste of time and money, but some of them work. Right, again, just clean the foot out. And this foot isn't a particularly nice foot. Both his hinds aren't particularly, what's the word? Solid. He grows about the same on the front as the hinds, but the hinds seem to crumble a bit more for some reason. Always has done, ever since he was a very young pony. Trim up the frog. Some of the muck out. Take all the loose sole out. Trim this one up. Get that hair out the way. I do like hairy ponies, but it gets in the way sometimes. Again, let's trim a little bit off. As you can see, there's not an awful lot coming off of this. It's probably 1/8 of an inch. That's after 6 weeks. But it is the time of year where they don't grow much, winter. It's they slow right down in the winter. They spend all their energy looking after themselves, keeping themselves warm and all the rest of it. So their feet don't grow quite so much. Just like your garden, doesn't grow so much in the winter, it's grass. Let's check that one for level. A little bit more off of there. Bit better, just tidy up the edges. Make sure there's no sharp bits hanging over or any flares. Take that little bit off that's broken. As you can see, that inside, you might not be able to see, there's very little to nail to there on that inside. Just get all the muck out of the white line. Call it a white line, but it's usually black or pretty mucky. Let's see if I can find the shoe. There we go. That's not too bad. I want to straighten a little bit there, I think. So, let's see what we can do. So we'll straighten this inside a little bit. Close it up. Check the level. Put this stud in. Here's little road studs in the back of this one. Just one in each shoe. I tend to like putting 2 in, but it's the owner's choice at the end of the day. The final decision. These are flush fitting studs. They've just got a tungsten core, and once the shoe starts to wear down, the tungsten doesn't wear down quite so quickly, so consequently sticks into the road. Acts like a sort of a pin to grip in the tarmac. Just gives them a bit more confidence sometimes when they're going down hills. If they're a little bit unsure on their feet. Just hook that inside on a bit. Not quite level. Nearly there. Oh, wrong foot, that's the one. I think we're just about there. Not quite. Knock that clip out a little bit so it sits in a bit more. I don't want him brushing and catching his other leg with the inside of this shoe. That's the problem. You can't leave them too proud on the inside. I like to try and leave them a little bit proud. You can't do too much, because if they run a bit close, which he does, end up cutting the inside of the other foot. And that one's going down an old nail hole, and it's not a particularly good nail hole, so I'm going to move that one a bit further back. That's better. Just wring the end off. Let's have a look. There's not much room to play with on this one. So these are old nail. That's again gone down another old nail hole, and it's not a particularly good one, but it'll have to do. I can't seem to get round it, but I'm going to try and get a heel nail up there, which is where there's not much foot. And you can see me feeling for it, and it's not coming out. So I'm just going to whip that one out and just increase the tip on it a little bit, the angle, so that it has a shallower arc and comes out just about where I want it. You've still got to be very careful when you do something like that, because obviously it can go in further as well as come out quicker if you increase the arc. which you don't want to do because you'll end up blaming him. You've only got that sort of on the inside there, about 1/8 of an inch all the way up. It's not, doesn't get any better as it goes up. So that's got them on. Just tighten them up again. I thought I'd do a video with a bit of commentary because I get so many questions after my shoeing videos. I'll spend more time explaining what I've done on the comments section because I generally don't put any commentary to my shoeing videos. I thought I'd do a quick one, try and answer some of the questions. So what I'm doing now is just filing those down so that they're probably under 1/8 of an inch long, probably 3/16. No, 3/32. And just pull them back down into the foot. It just sort of folds them right over and back in so that it hooks the shoe on. And you see there on the inside, I'll keep still enough, there's a big piece of foot missing. I have already beveled the shoe slightly before I even came out. This is the sort of thing I do when I shape my shoes up. I shape them up, put a bit of a bevel on where I think they might need it because I know the horses so well, which obviously means I have to do less when I get here. Yeah, I put a bit of bevel on so that if he treads on himself with the other foot, hopefully he won't pull the shoe off, because the other foot should slip off the bevel. If it was a sharp edge, it's more likely to catch with the other foot and pull it straight off. These things are clumsy, these animals, sometimes. So that's about it. Another set done and dusted. I've got to pack up and get myself out of here. Stick him back in his box first. You might wonder why he's got a grill above his door. It's because he doesn't, well, when he was younger, he used to try and climb out over the top. He doesn't get frantic, he just likes to try and climb out over the top. So ever since then he's always had a grill over the top. I don't think he'd probably do it these days. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.